Thank you, Kareem, for the introduction. And I just want to start off by saying, what you're doing at the Tech Effect is really special. Um, Canada needs it. The digital marketing industry needs it. The tech industry needs it. And keep doing what you're doing. You're going to have a profound impact on so many people from a career standpoint, from an organization standpoint. And it's been a pleasure to have had the opportunity to work with you and the Tech Effect over the past year. And I look forward to us doing many more things together in the years ahead. Now, without further ado, let's move this thing forward. So hello, everyone. I do want to start off by saying a big thank you to the team at the Tech Effect for organizing this event and for having Grow a Search as the guest for the first ever agency access. It's an honor to be speaking with everybody today. I'm very much excited. Once again, my name is Matt Colangelo, and I'm the CEO at Grow a Search.
And I'm Kathy Du. I'm the digital marketing manager at Grow a Search. So let's get started.
Awesome. Okay, so for today's agenda, we're going to be walking you through everything you need to know about Grow a Search and what life is like as a digital marketer. So what you can expect from us today, first we're going to talk about who Grow a Search is as a digital marketing agency today. And then we're going to go into a Throwback Thursday, and I'm going to share the story behind how Grow a Search became who we are today, because it wasn't an overnight thing. There was a long evolutionary process. And I think it's important to share, the origin stories of an agency and what it takes to, grow it over time. Then I'll pass the mic over to Kathy, and she'll share a day in the life as a digital marketer, both from a career path, how she got into digital marketing and what she's been able to accomplish over the past year in working with Grow a Search. Then I'm going to share all my juicy SEO secrets with you guys. And ideally what I want to do is just, simplify the process and help everybody become better at SEO as a result of the secrets that we share. And then from there, we'll open things up to questions and answers, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And we look forward to engaging with you guys. So looking at today, Grow a Search is a results-focused digital marketing agency. And we believe that every growing business needs a complete online presence. And if you make an investment in establishing a complete online presence for your business, you're going to generate all the inbound leads and customers that you need in order to meet your business growth objectives. At the same time, you'll also be able to gain a competitive advantage within the marketplace that you can maintain for the long term. So who do we work with? There's two types of people that we work with. We work with marketing managers that need help with the execution of their marketing initiatives. And we also work with business owners that have a marketing mindset. Both parties need to believe in the power of digital marketing. So they need to believe that digital marketing, when executed effectively, that it's going to have an impact on their business. A lot of the clients that we bring on board out of the gate, they're oftentimes behind with their online presence, or they're not accomplishing as much as they would like to accomplish. So we can come in and take care of pretty much everything across the digital marketing landscape to get them up to date and really have them thrive as a result of, an effective website and effective online campaigns that are driving results. We are a results-focused agency. So the big thing for us is, producing inbound leads and customers for our clients. So they have to have a need for that. Not every business actually wants to have more customers coming in, believe it or not. But the ones out there who do, those are the ones that we can help and really, contribute to their growth year over year and for the long term. So we pride ourselves at being flexible and diverse, and we can work with pretty much anybody in any business in any situation. But the areas where we've had our most success, home improvement, that was kind of the starting point with me. I niched down in home improvement and got my clients really good results. We've also done well with health and wellness, retail and e-commerce, financial, consumer packaged goods, and online platforms. But again, we're willing and able to talk to anybody, and it's just a matter of having a conversation and determining whether or not our skill set is a good fit for your brand or business. When you hire Grow a Search, we're going to come in and act as your full service digital marketing department. And our team of 12 is going to focus on executing a series of initiatives across the digital marketing landscape with the focus on generating more inbound leads and customers. So we're going to help get your website right. We're going to ensure that you have good quality content on your website. We're going to push with your SEO and link building to get you on the first page for hundreds of keywords. We're going to run all your ads from Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. We're going to make sure that your social feeds are kept up to date with, high quality and engaging content. We can help you with video production. We can run your email marketing and marketing automation. And then most importantly, we track everything with strong analytics and in-depth conversion tracking so that you can ultimately know what kind of return on investment you're getting as a result of working with us. When we get to work and we execute on all our initiatives across the digital marketing landscape, these are the type of results you can expect when working with our team. So we're going to push you towards that complete online presence. You're going to see an increase in traffic. We're going to get you found on the first page of Google for a lot of keywords. We're going to maximize your exposure via search and social advertising. And we're going to ensure that you have a steady flow of leads and customers coming in. And most importantly, whatever your business objectives are at the time, we want to have a positive impact on that. This is the team behind Grow with Search. So I'm really proud of the team that we've assembled over the past year. It's pretty much the dream team. So there's 12 people. There's myself as a CEO. There's Kareem Perez as our VP of Client Services through a strategic partnership that we have with him in the Tech Effect. We have Nolan as our writer. We have Kathy as our digital marketing manager. Emily as our content creator, Shahari as our digital marketing coordinator, Dan as our lead designer, Adrian as our web designer, Nico as our web developer, Margie as our office manager, Justin as our business development consultant, and Adrian as our accountant. So when you piece everybody together, we have this very special team where everybody's respects one another. We collaborate, we believe in one another, we believe in what we're doing at Grow with Search, and most importantly, we're really pushing to deliver our best quality work and get our clients really good results in the process. Okay, so that's where Grow with Search is today. But again, this did not happen overnight. There was a lot of kind of like things that went on behind the scenes. So through a Throwback Thursday, I'm going to take you guys into the past and walk you through how Grow with Search evolved over the years. Now, before I do that, I do want to share a quote with you. This is a quote that I pieced together. So depending on where you're starting from and the setbacks that unfold along the way, it may take close to 10 to 20 years to become an overnight success. And I'm just speaking from experience as someone that's been an aspiring entrepreneur since 2003. That's when I started to, first launch my own businesses. And then I went all in as an entrepreneur in 2010, meaning I left the 9-to-5 for good. And I dedicated my life, the rest of my life, to being an entrepreneur and being a successful business owner. So let's talk about how Grow with Search evolved. So the early years. So I established Grow with Search based in Toronto in 2013. And at the time, I was already in the digital marketing space, and I was getting really good results through search engine marketing. So that's ultimately a combination of websites, SEO, and Google ads. So I built my agency around that, and then, started to acquire customers. But soon after I established the company, I found myself operating as a one-man show from my beautiful home in Richmond Hill. And in those early years, I really had to grind it out to get those initial customers. But I focused on providing search engine marketing solutions for the home improvement space. So I knew that I could service these people really well, and they always had a need for more leads and customers to feed their business. So it was a good combination. And what I did was I just sold search engine marketing retainers. So I went to these home improvement companies and said, hey, I'm going to take care of your website. I'm going to take care of your SEO. I'm going to take care of your Google ads. And just pay me a monthly fee and we'll grow together. And it worked out really well. Actually, some of the clients that I had brought on in those early years are still clients today, and they've grown by a lot. Now, just a second here. If we look over to the right here, there's this iconic kind of entrepreneur photo of there's the entrepreneur with the light on, 3 a.m. And I can honestly say that in those first 5 years in operating Grow with Search, there was 1,000 plus nights where I was in that situation. I was up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. On hundreds of occasions, even 1,000 plus occasions, just working really hard to get my clients good results and sustain the agency and be in a position where I could provide for my family as an entrepreneur. But after 5 years of going through that, I decided that it was time for a change. So I convinced my wife to sell the house, sell all the stuff, pack the family up into a car, into our SUV, and move the family and the business out west. So we relocated successfully to BC in the summer of 2018. And I put myself in a position where I was able to kind of like get this new lease on life, a fresh look at the business, and push towards being in a position to grow the agency. So once I got settled in Burnaby, BC, I opened up an office in a grade A office space, and I started hiring team members. So I hired employee number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and things were going okay, but it was still a challenge. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and things got crazy for everybody. But for me, my experience was I had clients calling me wanting to cancel. So I had to like mitigate that and try to keep as many people on board and happy. And then I even had employees that wanted to quit. They didn't want to work in the pandemic. So I had to, navigate that. It was a little bit tricky at first, but, as things kind of as the government came in and helped people of all ages and businesses of all different shapes and sizes, an opportunity presented itself where I could almost I was almost put in a position where I could give Grow a Search, the resources that it needed in order to build like the right team and the right brand message and just restructure the agency into, self-actualization. So, midway through the pandemic, I rebuilt my team, brand new people, a great core team of people that we just gelled well together, and we were able to service our existing clients a lot better. And we put ourselves in a position to open up the door to bigger opportunities. And ultimately what happened was the team gave me the confidence so that I could go out there and land bigger deals. And magically, almost, it seemed like overnight this year, Grow a Search was put in a position where we finally saw the growth that we had always been fighting for. And we scaled to a team of 12 people, and now servicing clients from Toronto to Vancouver, and bigger and better than ever. So what are the morals behind the story? Going from 2013 when I started the agency to now, there's so many things that I'd like to share with you guys, but I'll just kind of walk you through some things that came top of mind. So, you have to take calculated risks, but at the same time, you got to be loose about them, because oftentimes the calculations won't make sense and you won't be able to take any action. You got to trust your instincts. So for example, with me, I felt that I had to move from Toronto to Vancouver in order to, find the success that I was looking for. And it proved to be right. Also very important, you got to focus on building loyal relationships with your team members and loyal relationships with your clients, because it's the relationships that I've had with my clients from, 2013 to now that has allowed me to sustain and grow over time. You never want to give up. When the pandemic hit, I could have given up, but that wouldn't have been the right choice, right? You want to try new things. You want to continue to take leaps of faith. You want to evolve with the times. Grow a Search started out as a search engine marketing company, but obviously the digital marketing landscape has evolved a lot, and now we're full service digital agency touching on everything. I'm a big believer in the fact that, capital is rocket fuel. It's hard for an agency to get access to capital. In my case, an opportunity presented itself this past year, and it really made a big difference in being able to, take Grow a Search to the next level. Also very important, teamwork makes the dream work. I never want to go back. We'll never say never, but I would like to not go back to being a one-man show. It's the team that I have in place now that makes Grow a Search who it is today, and, allows us to support our clients and be successful as an agency. I'm a big believer in change of energy. So if things feel stale, change your location, change your place, go travel, but change of energy will ultimately change your life. And then I also think that the big moral behind this story is, I've been an all-in entrepreneur since 2010. And bit by bit, as the years went on, success continued to compound. And that's going to continue to hold true, both today for Grow a Search and going into the future. So that's the story behind Grow a Search. That's, where we are today, how we got there. And now we're going to move on to a day in the life, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Kathy.
Thank you, Matt. So first of all, I would like to start by sharing a little bit of background about myself. I actually started with an accounting degree. When I was studying at Sauder School of Business at UBC, I was actually specializing in accounting. And then I actually made a career path change from accounting to digital marketing. So, after 4 years of studying accounting, and after 1 full year of working, as an accounting co-op and several accounting firms, one day, all of a sudden, I had an epiphany. I realized that, what, accounting doesn't work for me anymore, and I need a career change. So after a series of, networking, exploring, and one day I came across the idea of digital marketing. And I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And I started to explore this whole new world of digital marketing that I've never, really paid attention to before. So I started to really network, enroll myself into a digital marketing course right before I graduate, and start to learn what it is all about and whether it is right for me. And turn out it was meant to be. It was the perfect alignment with my personality, my interests, as well as my strengths. I felt so much excitement in digital marketing, and I felt so fulfilled. And I went along and graduated with an accounting degree, but at the same time, I started to really look for opportunities out there, starting with a part-time that can start to, bridge the gap of that zero digital marketing experience on my resume. And after graduating, pandemic hit all of a sudden, and it was really scary. But I didn't really give up. I had faith in myself that, what, I can make it happen. I can make this full career transition happen. So I started to really tailor my resume and cover letters to be solely digital marketing focused. And I started applying jobs nonstop every single day, even though I was getting very little amount of reply and interview chances. I just kept going. And I think it was like the right time. It was the right place at the right time. I believe like Matt came across my resume after I applied for the digital marketing coordinator position at Grow Research. And all of a sudden, we start to have really great conversations. He actually called me 10 minutes after I submitted the resume. That never happened before. And then we realized, what, this is like the right match. So just like that, in the middle of the pandemic, I landed my dream job and started working at Grow Research. Next slide, please. So here I would like to share with you all about my first few weeks at Grow Research when I first started. So I met Matt, and then I met the team. Slowly, I get to know each one of them and started to build really genuine relationships. And right now, we're just like family. So that's amazing. On the first few weeks, I worked very closely with Matt, and he provided me with full on-the-job and in-depth training with all things digital marketing related. For example, on SEO, paid ads, website support, content writing, social media strategy, and more. So that was really amazing. It was a little bit overwhelming, but I think I really love everything about digital marketing. So that really helped me grab on the concepts really well. In my personal time and free time, I did self-education and obtain Google Analytics and Google Ads certifications on my own. So I'm able to, apply these knowledge that I learned immediately to the work that I'm doing on a daily basis. And then through, active learning and some trial and errors, I quickly became proficient at the job. And during this time, I was able to identify my strengths and also improve on my weaknesses at the same time. Let's go on to the next slide. So yeah, because I was able to successfully identify what my strengths are and what my interests are, I was able to primarily focus on these functions on a daily basis. So there are a lot of them. For example, paid campaigns. On a daily basis, I create, I run, and I manage paid campaigns on both Facebook and Google. And also I manage social media. I perform social media management. So I built out systems that works really well in terms of social media calendar management and things like that with our content creator, Emily. And we work very closely with one another on a daily basis to make sure all of our clients get their social media feed live, active, and it was very and make sure that all of these platforms are engagement driven. For example, from Facebook to Instagram to LinkedIn and even Twitter. across different platforms. And I am also heavily involved with email marketing, and email marketing to a lot of extent it's like really work together with marketing automations. For example, sometimes there's standalone email that I need to design, but a lot of the times I work inside HubSpot and an Active Campaign to make sure that I create automated emails that goes on by its own at a certain time after applying certain filters to the contact lists. And in the end, I also pay a lot of attention and energy to, analytics and reporting because our agency is rapidly growing, just like Matt said, from 1 man to 4 to 12 members right now. Reporting is really important to our clients, and I work on them to make sure I build out more and stronger reporting systems to provide our clients more transparent information and data and the performance on the campaigns that we're running on a daily basis. Let's go on to the next slide, please. So here, let's take a look at a day in a life at a digital marketing agency. So because of the previous functions that I just mentioned, I would be switching between so many different functions every single day. It's like a variety of things at the same time. Every single day, it's different. There's no 2 days that are the same. So that's why it makes every single day at the agency really exciting. And beyond that, I feel like I can immediately see the impact and the result from the action that I did. Just for example, 1 day before, let's say I create a campaign or I optimize a campaign a little bit, I'm able to see the immediate market response from people right away in terms of the number of clicks, the amount being spent, the amount of conversions driven. So that is really empowering, and it gives me a little bit of, this instant gratification that just keeps me going on a daily basis. So I really like that. And also on a daily basis, we would have certain meetings with our clients or team members based on how we scheduled our meetings, so that we can make sure everybody is on the same page, provide our clients the updates of the performance of the campaign, of where we are in terms of the progress of the current ongoing campaigns. And if our team members need help, or simply just because we want to FaceTime each other and build that relationship and rapport, we'll be able to see our faces on our screen on a daily basis. And so while we work through the entire pandemic period, and we're working from home a lot of the times, we never really felt lonely because we're able to see ourselves or each other's faces on our screen all the time. So that really keep that family vibe going. Sometimes we would receive ad hoc requests from our clients when they run into something, unexpected or accidental crisis that needs to be addressed. They would send us an email, or we'll have all of a sudden a sudden meeting, and then we'll work together to get these issues addressed and resolved. Throughout the day, there's a lot of problem solving that is going on. Sometimes, when you run into situations, it will require yourself to sit at your desk and think about, navigate around the platforms and think about how I can resolve this problem before I reach out. Sometimes it's more like a team effort. And because, the nature of digital marketing, everything is constantly changing. There's new rules, new changes to the platform constantly being rolled out. Every single day it's different. And you run into problems here and there, but at the end of the day, it feels really good to be able to solve these problems either by yourself or with the team. And also, I really appreciate the fact that I'm able to grow and explore new areas that I'm interested in, even beyond the areas that I tap into. For example, I solely focus on digital marketing, but I realized that I'm also very interested in design, and we have a full team to support one another in terms of if you want to do more design, then we have members that you could reach out to, or you can take your personal time to take some lessons. And there are so many opportunities to tap into these new areas that you want to focus on. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate when it comes to this agency. Next slide, please. So yeah, from 1 man to 12 members today, we've established some common team values that really make our agency thrive. So that goes from growth, both personal and professional, to daily communications, either with the team members or the clients. And also authenticity is really big because by staying true to yourself and speaking your truth, you're able to build long-lasting relationships, just like how Matt was able to build these relationships with his clients that stay with him for 10 plus years. And that was really impressive. We really value diversity, and as our team is bigger than ever, so are our tasks and responsibilities. And we are constantly rolling out structures and new systems to keep us, stay like on top of everything and make sure that we're efficient when it comes to what we're doing. And we always value a good balance of life, balance between work, life, your friends, families, and your values and your hobbies. So that's very important. And at the end of the day, we always want to keep up the good vibes because, we're all spiritual people. We always want to encourage each other. And because we know this is how we can achieve the best performance as a family in this agency. So yeah, that's all I have to say about a day in life of the agency. So now I'll pass it back to Matt to reveal the SEO secrets to you all.
Thank you, Kathy. And that was an amazing walkthrough. You did a really good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so now for the moment everyone's been waiting for, the SEO secrets. So I'm going to basically walk you guys through all the things. If you're serious about SEO, if you have a website, or if you want to learn it as become an SEO practitioner, I'm going to give you the easy stuff that you can do to get a web page and get a website found on the first page of Google. And the secret is there are no real secrets. It's all out there on the internet. You can find all this stuff on the internet. But I'm just going to share with you guys from my own learning and doing. I've studied SEO. I've experimented with SEO. I've done SEO myself. I've learned from some of the top SEO guys in the country. So what I'm sharing with you is just stuff that I know that works really well. So we're going to go on page. So we're talking about what you do to optimize a web page or a website around keywords so that you increase your chance of showing up on the first page of Google organically. So firstly, every single web page on your website represents an opportunity to rank for 3 to 5 keywords, and in some cases even more. So from one web page to the next, you want to figure out what keywords the website should be optimized around, right? So let's say, for example, if we look at growasearch.com, we do SEO and we do digital marketing, right? And then we're also a digital marketing agency, right? So the title tag on my homepage is optimized around SEO. It's optimized around digital marketing agency, SEO agency, and then I combine that with my locality, which is Burnaby, Richmond, and Vancouver, BC. So we're talking about anywhere from like 3 to 5 or upwards of 10 keywords you want to get a page optimized around. So you identify your top keywords, and then ultimately what you're doing is you're writing a well-structured essay for Google's end user, right? So you got your keywords, now you want to write an essay around those keywords so that you can provide value and education and opportunities for Google's end user to learn what they need to learn and perhaps take the action that they need to take. Okay, so when you write an essay, what are the things that you need to have? You need to have a good title to go with the essay, right? So you have a title tag that you want to leverage where you have your keywords identified in there, and then it's also set up in a way where it's kind of engaging your audience. Then you want to make sure that you have a keyword rich headline. So every web page should have an H1 title. And this is your most powerful title, and it should be complementary to the keywords that you're looking to rank for. Then you're going to want to make sure that the keywords are also subtly present within your subheadings, H2 and H3. And then probably, half the battle is actually producing content that has substance. Any given page should have at least 500 to upwards of 2,000 words where you're educating the people on the topic, right? So if you look at the Grow a Search homepage, you're going to see that it has well over 1,000 words spread out across. And then you're also going to want to pair that up with, relevant images and having alt text added to those images so that Google understands, what the images are relevant to. And then to kind of like piece it all together, you want to like link out to your sources. So you can link out to internal sources like other web pages on your website, and then also external sources where you're linking out to third parties as a means to, give your reader value. Google gives you points for this. And ultimately what you want to do from one web page to the next, whatever the topic is, you want to present yourself as the subject matter expert. And if you can follow through on all this effectively, you're more than halfway through in the process of potentially being found on the first page of Google. So I have some homework here for you guys. If there's anyone out there that has a website and it's thin on content and it hasn't been well optimized, I challenge you to build out your website so that it has at least 20 plus diverse pages where each page meets these checkpoints. So if you can, build out a 20-page website and cover ground 1 through 8, you'll be well on your way to getting your website found on the first page of Google. So on-page SEO, that's kind of like about half the battle. But then you also have to pair that up with link building. So now we're going off-page, and we're trying to get votes, ultimately, proving to Google that like there's other websites on the internet that believe in my webpage, or they believe in my website, or they believe in my business. And that's also going to help to give you a push in your rankings on your good quality content. So here are the quick win kind of things that you can do. So obviously, every business should have like a proper Google My Business profile. So you want to make sure that this Google My Business profile, you're basically creating a business listing with Google, and you want to make sure that it's complete with, relevant content, a keyword rich kind of like company name. You want to have images, and you just want to make sure the thing is any information that you can put in to your Google My Business profile, you want to make sure that it's there. And you want to pair that up with 10 plus reviews. And that will help you with your maps, getting found on the first page of Google with your maps. Then beyond that, you're going to want to have a solid foundation of business directory listings. And this is going to act as a means for, the foundational elements to your link profile. And then also confirming to Google that your name, address, phone number, website address, it's consistent. And they can then match that up and verify against your Google My Business profile. Then beyond the easy stuff, you got to start to really diversify in where you're getting your links from. So you can go to somewhere like Fiverr and like be selective in buying some gigs there. You don't want to buy anything too spammy, but you can like buy like the safe stuff. And that's going to add links to your profile, and it's going to, again, give the rankings on your website a boost. And then, foundationally, you have, the links in place that will ensure that Google continues to pick up on your site. Then there's more challenging things that you can do. So you're going to want to look around in your industry and, establish profiles with industry associations or outreach to people within your industry and try to get them to link back to your site. In some cases, there's an opportunity to have a government link. These are very powerful. So I have a window and door customer who, through the fact that they offer energy efficient windows and doors, they were able to get a link from, the Canadian government that, it has a very profound impact on strengthening your link profile. And then you can do more kind of like coordinated like media buys. You can, there's blog networks out there. And you can, put out a campaign to have a series of blogs published on other, popular blog sites out there and have that content linked back to your site. Those links work really good. And then you can do, a paid press release. And then ideally, what you're going to want to try to do is make your business newsworthy. This is the ultimate SEO play. Make your business newsworthy. Go to the press with a news story about what impact your business is having on the world, and have your story picked up, and have these news sites, these real news sites, write about you and link back to your website. And then that's just going to make the world of a difference. That's like the holy grail. So always look for newsworthy opportunities. It can be challenging, but it's not impossible. So the homework I have for you guys on link building, if you have a website and you want to get it found for more stuff on Google, leverage the gigs that are available to you on things like Fiverr. There's paid services out there that you can find that will, get you your business directory listings, guest blog posts, so on and so forth. And then organically, do your outreach, within the industry, and then also with that newsworthy story. And when you combine all that together, you can pretty much rank for almost anything. You can rank for 80% of the keywords out there that you might want to go after. That's for sure. So that's it. That's all. I just dumped all my secrets on you guys. I just shared, my story, where we're at with Grow a Search. So, and Kathy did an amazing job telling her story and what life is like as a digital marketer. So I hope you guys found this information helpful. And I thank you all for listening. And we'd love to connect with you all. You can find us on LinkedIn, send us an invite request. You can also connect with me through social media. Go to www.thewealthymarketer.com. I have all my social handles there. Or most importantly, you can connect with us at Grow a Search, www.growasearch.com. You can learn more about our agency, and feel free to email us or reach out to us. Anything you need, whether it's career opportunity related or business, we'd be happy to talk with you all. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kathy. This was a wonderful presentation. And thank you so much for not just taking us through what Grow with Search does, but also talking about your personal experience.
Pleasure.
This has been wonderful. I think it's a good time to start taking some questions. By the way, I'm Shruti, and I'm a content marketing manager at the Tech Effect. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. So it's my pleasure today to be here with all of you and to, of course, ask all your questions to the panelists. Something that I'd like to begin with, Matt, you said that you began as a one-man show. It was everything that you were doing at the beginning. You talked about how you grew a business. Could we hear from you? And then I'd like to move to Kathy and Kareem as well. What was that initial phase when it comes to you being a digital marketer? What was that like? The first few years of you getting into SEO, getting into digital marketing, how did you prepare yourself for the industry?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I learned digital marketing I went to school for marketing, but when I went to school for marketing, in the early 2000s, digital marketing wasn't a thing. The internet was actually broken, around the time that I was going to school. But obviously the internet fixed itself, right, past the .com bust. And then I ended up just teaching myself digital marketing. I first started I wanted to launch an online business, so I learned affiliate marketing. And then I found that affiliate marketing didn't work very well, but I could help local businesses, right, by transferring my the digital marketing skills that I learned through affiliate marketing, transfer them over to the real world, and just taught myself everything, right, by doing research online, and then hustling some local businesses, convincing them, hey, I can do your digital marketing for you. And then one thing led to another, and initially it started out as a side hustle while I was working in the online market research space for an American company, corporate America. And then one thing led to another, and I'm like, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to go all in on business. And then I used digital marketing as my way in, and here I am.
Awesome. Kathy, coming to you, tell us about, you spoke about your journey and how you were applying it for different jobs, and then, you got in touch with Matt here. Tell us what was going on in your mind, and how were you preparing for the industry in terms of, you said that you were, of course, able to do a couple of courses on the side. But according to you, what would be some of those key things to begin with? I'm sure because in our attendees today, we'll have lots of people who are in that stage right now.
Definitely. I definitely feel for all of them who are, because I was in the exact same shoes. And, I think what really struck me was I realized that what I don't want to do, but I didn't know what I want to do to begin with, So I just, I decided to completely turn my head away from accounting. And one day I came across digital marketing on LinkedIn when I was scrolling through things. And I'm like, oh, this is a really interesting concept. So I just want to make sure I'm on the right path, and I want to make sure whether it really interests me, whether I would be actually good at doing it. So I just started to do some online research about, what digital marketing is really about. And after reading it, I feel like I feel like I'm on the right path, because I manifested something that, I want my future work to be technology related. I want it to be related to not only numbers, but also, text, creativity, design, arts, because I'm an artist. Like Kareem mentioned before, I'm a singer. So anything arts related, I'm interested, and visual. And also I want to work with people that I love. And I also want to be able to see the immediate impact of the work that I did just from, a day ago. I want to be really at the forefront and interact with human beings and see their interactions with the work that I did. And I didn't know what it is. I'm like, that probably didn't exist. But I just, wrote them all in a sticky note, put it on my wall, manifest every single day. And then I was like, you know what, there's this digital marketing course at Sauder. I feel like I really need to enroll in that to actually know whether it's right for me. So I think this is like the beginning point where I become like fully immersed in the world of digital marketing. And even though it was just more like theory and knowledge and, just classroom textbook knowledge, I can already feel the difference between, accounting and digital marketing. I feel like I feel alive during, all of those lectures. I am able to grasp on those concepts really easily. And I understand how it works, and I'm intuitive when it comes to the things that they talk about. And most of all, I'm interested in it. And I feel like I feel alive when I'm in that environment. And when I interact with the people in that industry, it feels right. So I feel like it's more like putting yourself out there and really try to enroll yourself in courses and, do research to know what it's actually about and how those people feel about it when they're doing that work. It really tells you whether it's right for you or not. And then, I was applying for jobs, and I think the one thing that really made the difference was I really started to look for part-time jobs while I was taking that digital marketing course, because I know right after I graduate, I will be looking for full-time, but I need to have something to begin with. Otherwise, there's this gap on my resume. So I was like looking for part-time. It was really lucky that was before pandemic hit. That was like a few months before it hit. And I was able to find a small job. And it was actually, it wasn't a digital marketing position, but I reached out to the employer, be like, I want to do digital marketing. And I feel like, do you need these, need your social media to be worked on, or, if you need that, I'm able to help. And they took me on. So that helped with that initial experience. And then I'm able to reflect that on my resume when I applied for the full-time. And then I met Matt, and then that really grasped his attention. He saw that I have both accounting experience and digital marketing, passion. And I took the digital marketing course and got a good grade. And I graduated, from a good university. So all of these plays into the role of him understanding that I might be the right fit. So never think that your previous experience, it's, not relevant or bad. They always are transferable, and they say something about you. So I think really taking the initiative to reach out and try on things, and that really will lead you to the right path.
So rightly said. And, it's great that you shared your journey with us, because I'm sure so many people will be able to benefit from that. And something that you so rightly said, if you want to be part of an industry that actually changes by the minute, it's digital marketing, right? There's so much that we're all, as part of the industry too, learning every single day. And that brings me to you, Kareem. I know that you're passionate about, the digital skills and, of course, teaching and learning. Tell us about your initial phase and what tips you'd like to share with people here.
Yeah, I think that my initial phase is similar to Matt's. Like, I went to school for marketing. We both went to Seneca together. So I actually took business administration. I wasn't really I didn't know what digital marketing was. But my advice would be, yeah, you just gotta try. You gotta execute, and you gotta see the results, right? So you got to, the sooner you put actually strategies into place. So for example, Matt's checklist, right? Like literally to go to any website that you know, whether you're working for a company now or the Tech Effect website needs some work too. And it's like, if you do those 10 steps and you analyze the results, then you get that gratification of like knowing what works. So yeah, and then not everything does work, right? So sometimes campaigns don't work. Sometimes you spend a bunch of money, you don't get leads. So it's really about being able to identify what strategies work for the client and what don't, and then very quickly remove the ones that are not working, and then put more effort and energy towards the ones that are working. And then the last one, which is I think one of the other questions here, is when you talk about what's working or what's successful, it's different for every business owner and it's different for every business type. So I always use the example, if you're a lawyer, one lead could be like a case, $20,000, right? Like you could be having this big case, versus if you're selling like iPhone cases, one lead is like $20 or whatever, right? So sometimes client, if I told you, oh, I only got 2 leads for this client this month, you'd probably be like, oh my gosh, that's low, like they don't, right? But like, oh, but it's a lawyer, so those 2 leads turn into 2 big cases. That changes the perspective. So understanding the business side too is really important.
Yeah. So let's, Matt, sorry, I thought you were about to say something here.
I was just going to say about like how not everything works all the time. You got to try a lot of different things. And that's why at Grow a Search, we kind of like broadened everything, right? We're full service digital marketing. We want to help our clients build out that complete online presence. And then when you go through that process, then you do identify, you know, from one client to the next, what's going to work versus not, right? So sometimes, you know, Google ads combined with like a good quality website works better for the client. We focus there. And some other instances, it maybe we try the Google ads and it doesn't work, and, you know, we're better off running Facebook ads kind of thing. So, but if you go through and try all the things across the digital marketing landscape, you're going to eventually like figure out what mix is best suited for the business in order to help them succeed and grow.
So let's dive into a few technical questions as well now. I see a few in the Q&A tab here, and this would also be a good time to remind everyone joining us, ask us your questions. Let those be technical, let those be about the experiences that the panelists have, or anything that you want to know about job search and digital marketing. The first one I see here, so this is from Alithia. She's asking, can you still do a Google My Business profile even if you don't have a physical office space?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think you do need a physical office space. So you're going to have to figure out an address to use, whether it's a virtual address or a home address, right? And then you can figure out ways to hide the address thereafter. But it is address based, largely. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I'll jump in, and it is address based, but I did set one up the other day. And now when you're setting it up, it asks you to put your address, but it asks you if you want to hide it like right away. So you can like hide it in the process. So if you have to use your home address, then you hide it so people can't see, like they're not going to come to your house, right? Because you're not like open for business that way. But you can put the service area. So you can say like, oh, I service GTA or Markham or Burnaby or whatever other cities out there.
For sure.
Kareem was quick to mention Burnaby right there.
I was at Burnaby, and I was gonna say like Gastown and those areas.
Yeah.
Another one here now. So this is something that you'd be able to share exactly what it means to you. What SEO metrics would define success for you? This is slightly subjective, I guess, but Kathy, I'd ask you first.
Yes.
So what SEO metrics would define success for you? What are those key metrics that you look for to say that the SEO for this website or this business is working well?
I would look at, so in terms of SEO, I will look at how, if I search for the keywords that the client of that company would frequently search for, whether I see this company on the first page of the Google, if I see it on the first page, or at least on the top few positions, and I know all those SEO building, those link building strategies are working, and when people search for the terms, this shows up, and then that people can directly go into that website. In terms of like paid strategy, I would look at the conversion, like paid campaigns. I will look at the amount of conversions and compare the actual conversion versus the client's expected conversion, or like the average conversion that has been going on for like a monthly basis to determine whether this month is more successful than the other, and look at the amount of ad spend to know the return on investment, whether, you know, this strategy of the campaign that we just built is working, or is it simply wasting money and we should, you know, try something else. So these are like the few key metrics that I can think of, yeah, for several areas.
Matt, anything that you'd like to add here?
Sure. Yeah. So from an SEO standpoint, you got to figure out, like, ultimately from one page to the next, what keywords you're trying to get the website ranked for. And then you're going to want to track the rankings of those keywords, right? So obviously, you're going to end up, when you start tracking the rankings of a keywords, you have a benchmark ranking report. So you know where you're starting, right? Keyword by keyword. Sometimes you might be, 5th position, 10th position, 20th, 30th, 40th, right? And then you're going through the SEO process, and ideally, you're going to start to see the rankings improve, every 30 days. It fluctuates, right? But the more keywords you can have, like, first, second, third, all the way down to 10th position, the better. So you want to push towards having, more first page rankings as you go. And then you want to make sure that, like, whatever you are ranking for on the first page, how much traffic are your SEO efforts generating? And then from there, of that traffic, right? Ideally, it's continuing to grow over time. How many leads or how many conversions are you generating in that process too, right? So you look at the ranking by keyword and how that's improving over time. You look at the overall organic traffic that you're getting, and then you look at how many leads you're generating organically. Those 3 metrics would be the big ones.
Thanks for that. Kareem, anything from your end? I guess Matt and Kathy have just covered it all right here. So a question I see here is, since mobile is important to consider, how do you do SEO on mobile? That's something that actually a lot of marketers don't focus on, and that's where they start losing out, because that's where we're consuming all our content.
For sure. So, any website that you build today, it needs to be responsive to mobile devices, right? That's going to be the big thing. So you want to have a responsive website, a website that's going to, look one way on the desktop, and then it's going to evolve to look another way on the mobile. And then you want to make sure that, that it is responsive. And when you experience, the website on the mobile device, that you are providing the user with a high quality experience. So you got to make tweaks from a web design standpoint, so that everything flows seamlessly. So if you just make sure that your website is responsive and it provides a good user experience on the mobile device, then you'll get that kind of like that checkpoint marked off the list.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll jump in too and just say, with regards to analytics, you can also check your analytics to see what type of device your users are coming from. So, I mean, it's safe to assume that it's going to be at 50% or more mobile, especially in this day and age. But depending on the business, there's some businesses where you have to be on a desktop to kind of like see everything, and you're going to process certain things. So you can check your analytics, see what that split is like. And that just gives you like a little bit more reason, if you need that data behind getting a mobile website or improving the mobile experience. You could show either your client or show your agency, like, hey, look, this website gets 80% traffic. We really need to make sure that experience is really good.
So let's jump into a different kind of a question now. This would be any digital marketing reading recommendations from you all. And of course, there'll be bonus points that you get if you have any suggestions for BIPOC material. You spoke about diversity being big within the company as well. So any suggestions when it comes to reading recommendations for preparation for the industry in general to know more? Kathy, Matt, Kareem, anyone who'd like to take this?
I can share a couple books. I recently read this book called Building a Story Brand. And I'm just checking the author. And this book was gifted to me by Kathy during our Christmas gift exchange. So Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I thought it was like a very logical book you go through this book, and it's going to help you. It can help you like basically improve the messaging and the flow of your website so that it converts better. So I really enjoyed that book and found it really relevant, and it helped me as a digital marketer implement these strategies on our websites to help improve conversions.
Thank you. Kareem, any suggestion from your side when it comes to books?
Yeah, so Web Analytics 2.0, Avinash Kaushik, I think is his name. But I think he used to work for Google. When I was at the agencies, he used to do a lot of talks at the Facebook and Google Analytics conferences. But he really breaks down the concept of using your analytics to track your user experience. And he breaks it down into like 3 different categories. So it's like see, do, feel, or see, feel, do. So the first one is, what do you want people to see, right? So when they come to your website, what do you want them to see? Like, how do you want it to visually look? So that's like your first stage of the funnel. The second stage of the funnel is, how do you want them to feel, right? So like when they look at your site, how they want them to feel based on the imagery and what you're saying. And then the last thing is do, right? So what do you want them to do? You want them to call you want them to connect with you. But yeah, really, really amazing speaker and author. Yeah, and then his books are really good, but he has an amazing blog. And it's really like centered around, again, analytics. So it teaches you how to set up like dashboards and set up that see, feel, do analysis within a dashboard, so you can actually see it in the numbers. So yeah, I'll type it in the chat because it's a little bit hard to spell, but yeah, Avinash Web Analytics 2.0.
Thank you. Perfect. I'm actually rushing with my questions just so that we're able to answer as many as possible. We're close to, we have about 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's go 10 more minutes and then until 7:55.
Perfect. I'm sure the audience would be happy with that. I can see quite a few questions coming in.
Yeah,
so there's one I see here, which is about, job search. Now, this may be a question related to more in the design field, but Nilakantan, who is asking this, is pretty sure, and I agree that, this also kind of ties in with the digital marketing industry. He's asking that every week the job descriptions keep getting complicated with the requirements, adding new tools. And that's so true because, by the time a student graduates from a digital marketing school course, there's so many more tools that get added and, things are changing every single day. So any suggestions from your side on how to keep up in this industry?
Yeah, I assume that's for me. I agree, like they can make it as complicated as possible, but first of all, don't get scared by how complicated it looks, because even though it looks complicated, in the end of the day, they're looking for somebody who can learn really quickly and who have enough transferable skills that can be applied to these new tools that they added. So no, like they know you're just a graduate, right? Nobody, it's like all of a sudden, can be compared to a person that works in the same industry for 10 years who are proficient in these tools that they listed. So they know that, they know you're probably not going to have all the experience with all these tools, but they just want to put it out there and see, like by judging on your resume, your experience, like how many transferable skills you have and how much exposure you have. So first of all, I feel like even if they listed out these tools and you feel scared and underqualified, still go ahead and apply anyways, and make sure you tailor your resume and your cover letter to these experiences and descriptions and these tools as much as possible, so that you show that, I've worked with these I've worked with these tools before, and even though it's not completely like that, these skills are exactly the same and can be transferred to this new role, like very seamlessly. And that's in the end, if you don't apply, you never get the chance to show what you have. So this is very important. And if you're not getting any reply in the meantime, really take the time to look into the tools. Even if you're just getting started, learn about it, and maybe take some courses and build some portfolios and demonstration of your work. I built a website that shows my own portfolio, shows all of the work that I did before. And when I talk to Matt, he's able to look into it and see, okay, I can see that she can totally take on these new things at the agency. So yeah, that's the thing that you have to do. So don't get scared and just keep learning.
Perfect. Matt, this actually brings me to a follow-up question for you. So if you were to actually be looking at a resume and someone says that they're an SEO expert, what is your expectation from them now?
If they're an SEO expert, I think just that they, to some degree understand the process, number one. And number two, if they were at the point where they could like demonstrate results, right? They were successful at getting a certain website or client or a series of clients or websites ranked organically for challenging keywords. That would be like, yeah, a huge score. But yeah, at the same time, like even if you don't have like the hands-on experience, but like you at least express interest, and I can tell that you're passionate about it, right? That goes a long way too. Yeah, because I'm willing and able, to some degree, if the opportunity presents itself and it's a good fit, I pride myself at helping people that are new to the industry and teaching them all the tricks of the trade and empowering them to flourish in their career as a digital marketer or as an SEO professional.
I'm sure that gives so much hope to people who, because it's a competitive industry. And of course, every day one might feel that, okay, I know this. And like Kathy said, there's just so much from that list that you feel, this is what I can do. But then there are a few that you feel not too confident about. And a lot of people don't even apply to those jobs.
Right.
So the next one here is, what would you do if your client doesn't have a high ranking on search engine results page?
If they don't have a high ranking, then we would look at why that is, right? You got to look at the website. Does the website have good quality content? Are the title tags, meta descriptions optimized? Do we have the right, keywords identified in the headings? You go through that checklist that, I ultimately shared with everybody in the presentation, and you can like pick away at all those points, and you'll identify where the gaps are, right? And then it's just a matter of coming to the client with a solution. Okay, so these are the things that are missing, and this is our plan to get them executed, and that will have you well on your way to getting those search engine results that you want.
Yeah. And any tips for keyword research, for conducting keyword research, something that you'd like to highlight? I know that you spoke about link building and keyword research in your presentation as well.
Yes, so for sure. So for keyword research, I like the keyword research and data that you can pull out of the Google Ads keyword planner. So obviously you have to open up a Google Ads account, but having access to that as a free tool, I think it can provide you like really good, raw keyword research ideas. And you can kind of like narrow down on your keyword list because it provides search volume and things like that. And then there are other platforms out there. There's Ahrefs, there's Moz, there's SEMrush. Those are the big three. And of those three, you can really go deep on your keyword research and identify keyword opportunities from so many different angles. But of those three, my favorite is Ahrefs.
That's a good suggestion. Any other tools, actually? This is one of the things I wanted to ask you, all three of you here. You're experts in the field. So what would be your resources that you would like to share? Because not all of these resources are free, right? For anyone who's just starting out in the industry. So maybe some that are paid services, but if you'd like to highlight at least one or two free resources that one can begin with in the industry. When it comes to digital marketing, learning about it, or using these tools to learn more about SEO, meta description, a couple of other things.
Yeah, I'll say for SEO or in general, there's a tool, Google Search Console. So of course, Google is the biggest search engine. So any tool that is specifically from them, always want to have a handle on it. It's not as deep in terms of intensity with SEO of some of the other ones Matt mentioned, but it's directly from Google. And it shows you if there's any technical issues that are stopping your website from ranking. So it's pretty technical, like that's how it actually started off, but now they're adding in a lot more features and insights into it. So it'll show you like your link profile, which websites are linking to you. It will show you your mobile website if there's any issues. And it will show you if you have any penalties or any reason that your website is not being crawled properly. So that's another one to set up in addition to Google Analytics when you first get started. So I would say Google Search Console is like a hidden gem. A lot of people don't use it as much, but there's like tons of really good information in there.
And I would like to add to it quickly. I know not all of these platforms are free, but I think when I was like studying at UBC, I created like some of them have like free trials. I know this is not, you're not supposed to do that, but I just created a few accounts, and then, sometimes I switch between them because I'm not doing it on a daily basis, right? But when I really need it, I use the free account, like the free trial or things like that. Yeah, so.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah,
most of these. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I think for me, I would invite you guys, like I've been in this industry for so long, and like I've used so many tools, and like the number of software subscriptions we have in-house is crazy. But you could actually go to my website, thewealthymarketer.com, and there's a tools page there. And I break down all the tools that are available from anything from website hosting to SEO to paid advertising, research, design, all my favorite tools. They're all there at thewealthymarketer.com on the tool page.
That's great resource right there. Kareem, do you think we have time for another question or two?
I would say 2 quick ones, 1 long one.
Sure. So I'll go with, one quick one then, which would be, Nicholas is asking us, is it advisable to rely on paid ads for short-term attention, or is it more beneficial to focus on SEO and have a long-term goal in perspective? I know it's a tough one, but your quick answer to this. Matt, how about you take this one?
Yeah, so basically, I believe that for immediate results, paid is the best way. But as you're running your paid ads, you should also be putting your website through the SEO process, and then eventually they complement one another. And even if you're getting found on Google for all your favorite keywords, if you were to turn all your paid ads off, you're basically putting your business at a disadvantage because you're still only depending on organic traffic, and then your competitors are going to take away the market share from the paid, and you don't really come out on top. You got to be holistic. You want to be doing ads and SEO complementary to one another always.
Now this question, the next one that I'm about to ask, and the last one, so we apologize to all those who've asked questions and we haven't been able to get to those. But of course, you can follow the Tech Effect. We keep answering these questions, follow Grow with Search, and you would definitely get answers to so many other questions you had. This one, I think I'll mix this with another question here now, which is about what's the most complex aspect when it comes to strategizing the SEO that you have faced in your experience. So when it comes to strategizing SEO, what would be the most complex aspect? Either share that or just conclude with your tips for SEO, because today we've of course discussed so much when it comes to SEO, but what are those few things that you'd like to leave the audience with?
Okay, so I'll answer this question, but can we add one more question? Because I noticed someone asked something about how do you get your first clients when you're starting out an agency? I think we should can we make that the last question? I'll answer this question and then, yeah, is that okay?
For sure.
Yeah. So with regards to this question, I think it's all hard, because you got to like have the right website and you got to write the right content, and then you got to go out and you got to get links. It's all, challenging stuff, but you just got to work hard at it, and take it one step at a time. And, just bear in mind that, the investment of your hard work and time is worth it, because eventually you'll get best results. But perhaps maybe link building is a little bit more harder than the on-page stuff in my books. Yeah.
And your answer to the next one?
Yeah, so finding your initial clients. So the way I found my initial clients was I did a little bit of work for free, helping a friend or helping an uncle kind of thing. I advertised website design services for cheap on Kijiji. I got some clients through there. And then, from that, I built up a bit of a portfolio and I started to do more things like networking and going to live events and then, advertising with the big boys on Google Ads and Facebook. But it's hard to generate customers. It's not easy, that's for sure. You almost got to like force it to happen. But it can happen with enough persistence.
That's definitely the thing to remember. Kathy, over to you. Any last thoughts here?
I think I'm fine. I see another question saying what to avoid when doing link building. I don't know if we answered that already or if we have enough time.
We did speak about link building, but if you have a tip, of course, we could have that as the last tip from you.
For me, oh my God, I was gonna give it to Matt. But yeah, Matt, do you think we can add to that or do you think you already answered?
Yeah, I think the big thing is like, just try to do it like authentically. Don't do like spammy things. You can still use tools to acquire links, but just make sure they're good quality links and like links that are just foundationally supportive of you. And then, do it the more organic way where you're doing the outreach and you're doing it to some degree in a ethical way. That's the big thing. Just avoid the spammy opportunities, the black hat stuff. You want to avoid that.
So Kathy, any just one word of motivation from your end then? For the attendees, anyone who's in a stage wherein, they can do with some motivation. One word from you and I'll pass it on to Kareem then.
Sounds good. Yeah, so to all of you who were in my shoe before, don't give up. Just know that there's always something out there for you. If you're just not discovering it yet. And if you think that you found some direction that could potentially be the way, go all in and learn as much about it as you can possibly be and put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. One thing would actually lead to another. You will eventually go on the right path or meet the right person that can take you to the right place. So yeah, just stay motivated. Don't be discouraged by the quarantine and everything that's going on. Yeah.
And I can see Matt nodding in agreement. And this brings me to thanking the two of you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and about Grow with Search with the attendees today and answering all the questions. I know it almost felt like it was a rapid fire that I was just shooting questions at you, but you've handled those really well. So thank you so much for your time and for being with us here. Kareem, over to you. Your last tips and of course the few announcements that you'd like to make.
Yeah, I don't have any last tips, but I have a last announcement. But yeah, thank you, Shruti, for facilitating that Q&A. That was amazing. You're a natural. Matt, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your info. I'm taking that checklist and I'm going through it for a bunch of projects right away. And Kathy, yeah, thank you so much for your insights and your inspiration and just giving us that day in the life. I really, really look forward to seeing, having this conversation a year or two from now and see how you've grown and seeing the big things that you've accomplished. So yeah, thank you all. I'll do like a 1-minute quick screen share and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much for the search. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful event. Had a good time.
So let me just do here. Okay, just 1 minute if you have just some few things of what's next. Okay, so again, amazing conversation. We definitely need to have a lot more of these. So hopefully you shared for that opportunity to win. Tell a friend, and next time, yeah, let's get more marketers in the room having these conversations. Just wanted to talk about 3 ways to get involved with us and what we're working on. So the Tech Effect community, you can head over to our website and join today. join our community and start sharing knowledge, solving challenges, and being part of our community. You can go to our website and there's a link, call to action there, so you can find out more information. We also have our digital mentorship circle. The next cohort is going to be launching on August 9th. So that's in a few weeks from now. It's a career accelerating program. It's designed to help you fast track your digital marketing career. And we're working with some mentors and some sponsors there as well. So look out for that. And then the next session, so our agency access number 2 is going to be on August 26th. And we're going to have Mahfouz, who's the brand manager at Candy Box Marketing. So we're going to have him and some team members from there. And we're going to be talking about personal branding and digital storytelling. So head over to our website to get connected on those things. Follow us on social and share for a chance to get your resume reviewed. And yeah, mark your calendar. So thank you, everybody. I'm super excited and super stoked for this first event. It's gonna be the first of many. Thank you again to the team at Grow with Search. And thank you, big thanks to the whole team at the Tech Effect who keeps helping to pull these ideas off, bring these conversations to the table, which is super important. I'm so happy that we had a chance to collect it all and gather it. And of course, thank you to all the attendees, everybody who shared either this event or a previous event, anything that we've done. The community is growing and we have some big things in the works. So follow us online. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out through DM or our email there, connect@thetecheffect.ca. All right, thanks everyone, have a great night.